Hey guys, Gil here. I want to make a video on my progression on the Paladin, as well as some of the stuff I've been doing on professions as well. With all my profession alts, I've got six tailors and six alchemists, plus my Paladin and my warrior from Vanilla, who's a blacksmith engineer. So basically, I hit 70 yesterday. We're a weekend to release. Um, I didn't get to dungeon grind that much, so my reputation is kind of far behind. You can see this weak aura here. I just hit Black Marat or Keepers of Time yesterday. Got revered. I'm very close with Scryers. I'm sorry, not Scryers. With Cenarian Expedition, and then from there I'll probably do Shatar. But I've been doing the way I leveled was on release day. I did, the one Hellfire Ramparts, and then I pre-quested, so I turned everything in. That was a nightmare turning everything in on the release. Got to 62 and like 20% using my pre-quest. So I did one Hellfire Ramparts run and then one Blood Furnace. And then from there, I think I did a couple Blood Furnaces. And then from there, I was almost level 63, I think, before I went to Slave Pens and did Slave Pens for, I think I had like 5 runs. Most of 63, I think, was in Slave Pens. And from there, I kind of was like, okay, I don't really have the time to do dungeons during the day. I work from home, so I can't really play. I can, kind of be aware of what's happening, but I'm in and out working and whatnot. So, yeah, so I just did basically quests from basically 64 to 70. I did all of, let's see here. I think I did all of Terakar Forest or most of it. I didn't touch Nagran or Zenger Marsh or Hellfire Peninsula. So I went from Terakar Forest. I think from there I was like level 66. I did honestly, I don't know if I did any mana tombs. I'm really far behind on rep, but then I went to Blade's Edge and did everything here. And then at level 68, I think I think I dinged 68 and I was like, I'm just gonna go to Nether Storm because a lot of the tanking gear for Paladin comes like you can get it from the quest in Nether Storm. Like you can basically be set to go into at least heroics, or even now post nerf Karzon. So I quested in Netherstorm. That's mostly because I felt like it was the best way to get a complete set of gear. I could do it, for 20 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and not have to worry about a dungeon group. But the consequence of that is that I'm pretty far behind on reps now for attunements and whatnot, like and the gears. But that'll all happen. So right now I've got, as far as attunements go, I am working on, this is the Attune app. It's really useful. I'm working on my Arcatraz attunement. So I just need to actually go into Mechanar and Botanica and I'll get the key for that. When I go into Arcatraz is when I will do the Karzon attunement. So you can see here, I just need that piece of the key and then I should be good. So yeah, then it's like a bunch of random stuff. I honestly don't remember. I think, oh yeah. So I need to get the 3rd key fragment and then a Black Morass run. Pretty easy stuff. I should be attuned obviously by next week at the latest. What I'm worried a little bit about is heroics, but you don't really need the gear yet, so it's not a huge deal. Like I could go into Karzon right now and be just fine. And all right, so let's see here. That's my Paladin. I've got 2 sets of gear. My other set is a ret set. Actually, let me go over the gear real quick. So I've got defense rating helm. This is not great, but it's got a lot of stamina defense. Yeah, just a random spell power stem int. I need to put my enchant on these, but from ZG, but this is defense, spell power, stam, just a defense rating cloak, really useful. And like all of this came out of Another Storm basically. Stamina, spell power, defense, like perfect paladin, prop paladin stats. Again, I did enough runs last night in Black Morass to get Keepers of the Time Revered. This is really good if you're a prop paladin, especially if you're enchanting, because you get this piece, you get the spell power on ring, which is useful for threat, and you get the Time Warden's leggings. This alone is like 1,000 HP. And if I have kings, like you can see my unbuffed right now is 10,800. And then if I put on kings, I'm like over 11,000 I should be. It's 11,500, pretty good. Only problem is I'm not defense capped. You can see I'm at 451, so I need a couple more pieces there. And then my crush, I'm still pretty far off. With Holy Shield off, I'm at 80. I'm at 83. So if I have a proc of Redoubt, then I'm crush capped, but that's not ideal. So still got some work to do there. Talents, so I'm like the major mitigation. I just have Redoubt, all 5 points in anticipation and toughness, improved Holy Shield. I even went Ardent Defender, combat expertise, Avenger Shield, blah 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 blah. And then into red, I'm up to Pursuit of Justice 2. And then for my ret build, it's just like standard ret. I don't even need to really go over it. There's nothing special here. I did take kings because it's really useful in dungeons, and then divine strength. And then so that's the paladin. Where I'm at with professions though is I was able to start getting my alchemists and tailors going. So like a little bit of rundown. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. These 5 characters are all tailor alchemists. So this guy's still 300. This guy has primal might now, but no tailoring yet. This guy has nothing, or he's 300, tailor alch. Gil Martin has all the cloth cooldowns and primal might, so he's 350 of both. I actually just finished doing my cloth creations, and then Gilly Gun is both. I can make primal might and the cloth cooldowns, and I have. So today, I hit 70 yesterday. I'm trying to get the professions going here because that's a good source of money. I've been spending a lot of money on both investments and, patterns. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So you can see enchanting is at 365. That there's nothing special about 365. There's no point for me to go higher right now because as I go and enchant my gear, I should get to 375, and I can already enchant my rings, so that's perfect. That's why I have enchanting. Jewel crafting on 375, and I've acquired all of the useful buyable patterns. So like I've got Solid Star of Elune for tanks, Teardrop Living Ruby, Runed Living Ruby, Delicate, Bold. So like all the useful, or most of the useful living rubies for each of the classes. Got Sovereign Knight's Eye for strength users, Shifting for agility, and I think Royal is the healing, and Glowing is caster. So for the blue gems, then Veiled, same thing. Veiled, Potent, got them all. This isn't particularly great. I don't know why I have it. I must have gotten it for super cheap. Or maybe I bought it from a vendor. Not a vendor. Yeah, a vendor. So I'm not sure what that comes from. And then I've got, some Dawnstone. So I've got most of the patterns. You can start to see here what TSM is doing and what is going to be profitable. So like Solid Star of Elune. not gonna make this about gold, but like this is where TSM is really helpful because it tells you like their sale rate. So if you post 10, 5 of them will sell roughly. Yep. And then that's professions for these guys, and then my Paladin's account is this guy who I don't think I've started the professions yet, but I'll show you real quick what I ended up doing on a map. Yeah, okay, so I just am starting here. But what I did today on all of my tailors and alchemists, so in order to level tailoring, this is where I get sucked into how things happen, and I try to explain to you guys a little bit more than just like the normal YouTube video of just spurging out. But so the way that you level tailoring in TBC is you have to get, at least to my knowledge, you have to get master tailoring in Thrallmar. So the easiest way to get to Thrallmar is to go through the dark portal. You take the flight and you're here. The easiest way to get to Shatrath, though, is obviously a portal. So on half my characters, I portaled myself to Stonard, and then I ran down through the dark portal. And on, I think 2 or 3 of my characters, I took a portal to Shat. Well, when you level tailoring, you have a couple of options for getting to 350 when you can get the specialization, but for alchemy you have even less. The best thing you can do that's for speed is you buy super mana, which is in this Thunderlord stronghold, and that lets you get, I think, from 340 to 350. What I think the best way to do it is you craft these. Let me see if I think the best way to do it is you craft Mad Alchemist potions. This is what I'm going to do for my other alchemists, and I'll explain why. So, okay, so you can see here, Mad Alchemist. So this costs 78 silver because Ragveil is like nothing, and it sells for 70 silver. To a vendor. So at the very least, I can make these for 8 silver loss. Like I actually was making money on these earlier today by vendoring them because the Ragveil was so cheap. So who is that? So yeah, I think the best way to get there is you level, like you follow the guide, you do like I think I did, let's see here. I think I did Arcane Elixir, Greater Arcane Elixir. Bastard killed me. You just kill me? So I did Greater Arcane Elixir until I think like 320, and then at 320 you switch over to like the unstable healing maybe. I don't know. Follow the guide. There's like a Draining Wisdom one where you use Terracone. That's stupid. Don't do that. That's a waste of Terracone. And then, oh, Healing Power. That's an option too. You can do that, I think, to 320. Anyways, what I'm saying is that when you get to, as soon as you can make those Mad Alchemist elixirs, you should make them until you can't make them anymore, because you can go to 350 with them. And it's quicker than running up the Blade's Edge. But in order to, this is scale back to what I was gonna say, you go back to Shatrath to train your Spellcloth or whatever, and you could do Alchemist here too, but you have to craft Spellcloth in Netherstorm, and you have to craft Primal Mooncloth in Cenarian Refuge because there's a Moonwell there, and then you have to craft Shadowcloth down here, which is there's like at that altar that I was just at. So I made a video about this, but in order to get this kind of set up to have these characters with professions, you have to level them to 60. you have to get their professions up to 350 each, which is, takes about an hour. And then you have to get them the flight paths for these things. And I haven't done this on this character yet, but I did on my rogue. There is a, in fact, I'm here. So this, let's take this spirit res. So if you are an Aldor on your crafting guy, you can't get this flight path. Well, it's a scryer only flight path. So on your profession alts, I think the best thing to do is to just do the Aldor scryer and choose scryer, and then when you run here, you just get this flight path. And what that lets you do is what I talked about in one of my other videos, where you craft your 2 spellcloth, you fly down to Zangarmarsh, and you land here, you run down here, craft your primal mooncloth, run back up here, fly to Shatrath. The cloth guys are down here, and you drop your spellfire tailoring, and you pick, which costs 50 gold, and then you pick up shadow tailoring, or whatever the fuck it's called, and that costs 20 gold. So you're now down 70 gold, and then you go back to Shatrath, and on your first time you have to run here, but once you get this flight point, you can just fly down here and then run around here and craft. You're now a spellcloth tailor, so you get 2 spellcloth, and then you stay spellcloth tailoring for 4 days, and then you craft another 2, and then you fly back up to Shatrath, you respec into spellfire tailoring, you fly up to Zangarmarsh, you craft your stuff, and then you fly up to another storm and craft your now 2 spellcloth. So basically every 4 days you're getting 4. It's like a running 4 days, but like every let's see here, paint, because I feel like I'm confusing. So like this is day 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think it's like 3 days and 20 hours. So right now I'm a spellfire tailor here because that's what I started with, and then I craft on day 1. I craft 2 times spellfire, 2 times spellfire, and then I swap. And then I do 1 times moon cloth. This is spellcloth. And then I craft 1 mooncloth, and then I respec. And I'm gonna make that purple. I'm a shadow boy now. And then I craft 2 times shadow cloth. Okay, and then I stay that. So now I am shadow cloth, and I'm shadow cloth this whole time. And then here, craft 2 times shadow cloth, and then respec. Lost it. Spec into red. I'm saying respect. Oh, that was an auto, that's why. Okay. So now I'm respect, and then I'm now Bellfire Tailor. So I'm gonna be up here again, and I make 1 times Mooncloth because I'm going north now. And then I make 2 times Spellcloth. So this is different than if I were just a Spellfire Tailor, which would be something like this. It would be like, I'll just draw it. So this would be like with swapping. So in a total of 4 days, I get, let's see here, I get 4 times Spellcloth, 2 times Mooncloth, and 4 times Shadowcloth. Okay, but it costs me 70 gold. Costs 70 gold because I only have to respec once. Or I'm sorry, it costs me 140 gold. Sort of. I say sort of because it's every like 3 days you have to respec. But you get double the benefit. And it's because we're like kind of rocking it back and forth. So like what I mean by that is up here. So now that I'm a spellfire, I wait my 4 days as a spellfire, and then I craft again. So I'm only so I respec once here, once here, once here, but I get 4 cloth out of the respec rather than 2. Okay, so then it cost me, technically it only cost me 70 gold. Because I'm only respecing once on the rotation, right? And then this cost me 70. But the long and the short of it is that I get an extra 1 spell cloth and an extra 1 shadow cloth. So, but it cost me 70 gold to do it. Well, if I look at the cost of that, a shadow cloth is worth 150 gold. Spell cloth is worth right now 120 gold. So that's 270 gold. I just got, for 70 gold, I made 270 gold. So I net 200 gold. And if you do this every time, it doesn't take any extra effort or time to do this. It's literally, it's just like clicking 2 things. This is profitable as long as these 2 things are more than the 70 gold, which is it's always worth it, pretty much. And you can do this in Wrath too, if I remember right, but it's more of a pain in the butt because you have to get to Outland. And in Wrath, like, you can craft things the same way. So, whereas this is kind of like a cool little linear path where you're flying around on that rocking path. Anyways, that's way longer than I wanted to in true Gilly fashion. But that's what I've been doing. I basically set all of this up. I have all the flight paths now on all 6 of those characters. And I ran them all up here. Actually got some summon. You can summon to the bridge right here. You can summon to right here. So I ran to Blade's Edge. If you die in the cave, it'll res you or whatever. You'll start the spirit healer right here. And then I got a summon to here because running through all this stuff sucks. And then, yeah, and then I ran to Shadowmoon Valley on the rest of them. So that's what I've been doing. By the time I post this video, I will probably, today is Wednesday, so I'll probably post this on Friday morning. And I will have everything set up. So I'll have all 6 tailors probably maxed and all 6 alchemists making primal mites. And we'll be making some money trying to get caught back up because I've spent all my money on investments. All right, thanks guys. Likes, comment, subscribe.